what would you say is your darkest moment or defining moment?
Oof. Darkest moment or defining moment? I mean, I'll frame it like this. Again, I've been blessed to deal with a lot of challenges in my life, and one of the themes, like I mentioned earlier, was loss.
Yeah.
So, like I said, right, I lost my girlfriend when I was 21. That was to suicide. I lost my dad in 2021. He died of cancer as well. I held him in his hand. Me and my siblings were around the same table. I saw him take his last breath. Following year, 2022, that's where I lost Elias.
Yeah.
2023, I lost my best friend here in Bogota, actually.
Yeah.
So there's been this common theme, and when you ask me a question like that, it's hard to pin it down to one specific, emotion or one specific time. But for me, I really do feel like overcoming that loss of people who are very significant to your life,
Yeah.
it's hard, man. It's one of those things where it's like you said, it's like you question shit. It's like,
Yeah.
what's the point of this?
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
longest time, I didn't believe in God.
Yeah.
This is just as like the last 2 years, I really started to kind of open up and search for that relationship because I used to be very spiritual universe, but I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hold on, right? Like, what's up with God? Because all my successful friends, they all praise God, they all get down to God, and it's like, let me see what's going on here. But I never had that connection. So for me, man, it's kind of just going through those losses of again people that meant the world to me. Like my girlfriend, this isn't just like losing your dog, and I'm not saying losing your dog is insignificant. I'm
Right.
just saying from my perspective here, it's like that's the girl that I was intimate with for a year. You know what I mean? It hits a little different. Your
Yeah.
father, obviously, that's a different type of relationship. Your your bro or whatever the case is, right? Every loss is different, and it's gonna hit differently. But going through those motions, that's what I think is the recipe to making a real man on the other side. You're letting it make you or break you. If that makes sense.
I believe that 100%, man. Yeah. Yeah, we said it, loss is what kind of defines you and how you deal with it. Um, but sometimes, and you mentioned God. I mean, God is absolutely one of the biggest influences in my life as well. And
Mm.
I had the same journey. It was just, like
Skeptical?
skeptical, but not so much skeptical, just kind of like, didn't really grow up in like a way that it made sense. Like we grew up in a communist country, like religion was illegal. A lot
Yeah,
of my parents, they kind of like, they went through 10 years of war. And then they're like, well, what God? What are you done with God? Like, how do
yeah,
I, like, yeah, sure, there's a God, but I mean, I got to take care of myself. It wasn't like this,
yeah,
like, education where you're like, this is how you access, this is how you
yeah,
pray, this is how nothing. So when it came to, the universe and law of attraction, manifestation, and all this shit, there was so much like woo woo buzz out there on
for
that
sure.
I kind of like fell into that for a little bit. And then eventually kind of found my way back to God as like an adult because I ended up actually looking at it from like a grown standpoint. I was like, well, what actually makes sense to me
Yeah,
instead of like what I'm hearing from everybody else.
for sure, man.
And that's kind of how I, found myself back.